everything first in the Israelite culture belongs to God. Everything first. The law of the first fruits. If you remember the book of, the story of Hannah, he gave birth to Samuel. The first was given to the service of the Lord. Anna also gave birth to other children, but Samuel was dedicated, for the service of the Lord. Likewise, Jesus, when he came through Mary, and after Jesus was born to the service of the Lord, Mary also had other children. Forget about what people are saying or the doctrines that are flying around that after the birth of Jesus, Mary remained a virgin or whatever. That is not true. All right? Go check the scriptures. Go check the New Testament. You'll see the story of his brothers that they know. The Pharisees and the Sadducees say, is it not this Jesus, Joseph's son, his mother, father, and brothers that we know? So Jesus also had, brothers. So the first thing in the Israelite culture belongs to God. The law of the first fruits. Likewise, in the Yoruba culture, everything first is said to be sacred, as in it belongs to the service of God, everything that is first. And in the Israelite culture, coming first has a change, this same law is not the same for the twin. That is to say, a twin, when the twin is born in the Israelite culture, the first twin, the one that came out, is supposed to be the first. But when it comes to that, the Bible says the first shall become the last. If you remember the story of Esau and Jacob, the birthright was to be given to Esau, but it was at the end of the day given to Jacob. Esau came first, but the birthright was given to Jacob. That is, Jacob, who was the second, the younger twin. The first twin, Esau, he was the one who came out from the womb first, but the birthright was then given to Jacob. Likewise, when Jacob was to bless his grandsons, that is Manasseh and Ephraim, Manasseh is supposed to receive the birthright, being the first to come out, but it was eventually given to Ephraim. You remember the story of Joseph, where Joseph was telling his father, no, father, this is the first and this is the second. This came last. He said no, that he understand what he was doing. So Jacob interchanged his hand. The right hand is supposed to go to the head of Manasseh, and the left to Ephraim, but he interchanged it by putting the right hand on Ephraim. So the birthright was given to Ephraim. So in Israelite culture, the law of the firstborn of every human, of cattle, of farm produce, it belongs to God, the law of the first fruit. But when it comes to the twin, it changes. It goes to the first becoming the last. Likewise, in the Yoruba culture, the law of being the first interchanges when it comes to the twin. That is when you hear the Yorubas will say, Akehinde Begbon, that is to say, the one who had come last had become the first, which is still the first shall become the last. So, in the Yoruba culture, you will still notice that those who are called the second, that is the Kehinde, they behave and act maturely more than the Taye, who is the first, to come out of the womb. So when I say to you that the concept of Christianity, or that the religion or the practice, the faith of Christianity is a faith of an African man, I am not missing words. There is no European or white culture in the world that practice this same culture. No white culture, no white person, no white group or tribe practice this same culture that we practice in Nigeria. So, it is safe to say that those who practice this culture not as faith-based thing, but as something that comes to them as natural, as traditional, as customary, as in what they usually do, what is a custom of them to do. If it quacks like a dog and walks like a dog, then it's actually a dog. So, no white person can say that they practice this culture, even the Israelis in the land of Israel.